Hey everyone, we are back, and this time with something a little different. We're gonna do another Mezco review of the 112 Collective Mezco exclusive Supreme Knight Batman, specifically the Shadows edition with the full black costume. Um, I've owned several Mezco Batman figures, and this one is my favorite of the ones that I have owned. However, that new Year One figure that's coming out is probably going to dethrone it. We'll see. But yeah, let's go ahead and crack into it. Okay. So yeah, this bad boy comes with a whole lot of stuff. So here's the figure itself. You got all the heads. You got a grimacing head, kind of flat face, unmasked Bruce Wayne. And then the same expressions as over here. Well, this one's actually smiling a bit, but these ones have the long ears. You got a bunch of tiny batarangs. These little bunched up grip batarangs, I guess. Got these big ones. This one, especially, I love. Your interchangeable hands. And then over here, got some more weapons. We got this big gun thing. Got a drone. What's this? We got another big batarang, some grapple hooks. And then these are the swap out bat symbols that go on the chest. They're magnetic. So we'll get into that a little bit later. And then you have your standard Mezco stand and flight stand. So here's the base right here under this little smoke plume, which is really cool. And then an interchangeable cape. I believe this is the one without wires, and it has the wired one attached. So we'll look at that a little bit too. So first things first, here is Batman himself out of the package, and yeah, this thing rules. If you know anything about Batman lore and history and comic books and stuff, this is basically Mezco's version of a Dark Knight Returns. It's from their Knight line, I guess, where they had the Ascending Knight, Sovereign Knight, and now Supreme Knight. Where it's like early years Batman, so like, you know, your Detective 27 Batman with the long ears and the short gloves and all of that, and then your classic Batman with the gray suit, and then this one. And each one comes, like, there's different versions of each. There's like there's an all black one, there's a shiny black with the gold, there's a blue and gray, and a black and gray for each one. And then a couple of them have some other variants therein. Like this one, I think there's 4 variants for each. This one, there's 2 different blue and gray ones for this guy. And then, I'm trying to remember. Anyway, but yeah. So this one, I have owned 2 of them. I've had the standard one, with the just gray and black, and then this one, I prefer this one because it's just cool. It comes with way more stuff, and I just really like the all black suit on this design in particular. But anyway, so we'll get into some articulation a little bit. So articulating his head up can be a little odd because the traps here on the cowl, that is magnetic. It comes off, so you can swap out the capes easily. And while that is nice, it can make articulation a bit odd. And then with the elbow, it's pretty standard. It's like a 90 degree, which is pretty good. And then you got a regular ball joint for the wrist. That'll focus. Jeez. And then the shoulders come up about like that. And it's the same going forward. There is, you know what, we'll just do this. Not much of a crunch, but he does bend forward a good bit like that. So, and then you get full kick all the way back on the knee, and then the ankle is also a ball joint, I believe, but it's a little more restrictive, and then you get pretty good kick forward. So it's a well articulated figure, and the costume is good and durable too, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, and here we'll look at a little bit of the accessories, because a lot of these you can kind of just look at them and see what they are, but you can see them without the plastic covering here. So we'll start with this thing. So this thing actually, you can see there's a little hinge there in the middle. It folds and unfolds. You see this right here, if it'll focus. This bit here disconnects, and then it folds up, which makes it easy to just kind of slip it into his hand. And you got your different hands. You got grip hands, and then more grip hands, and then kind of open action hands, and then more grip hands. And then this is like a trigger finger hand right here. And he comes with all kinds of different weapons, so you have to have different hands to facilitate that. So this one is one of my favorite heads that he comes with. I love that menacing grin. The long ears with the animated kind of style where they're pointed back. Looks pretty good, I think. And then take a look at the oh, excuse me, sorry. The unmasked head, which kind of looks like, I can't remember his name, but Small Soldiers. If you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about. The, like, main bad guy. And then short ears, which, like, the one that's on the figure. Oh, boy. Hopefully this doesn't become a trend for the video. That would suck. Yeah, and I think when I dropped the thing. Anyway, and here's the plume of smoke thing. It's a little cheap looking, to be honest. It's not especially thick. It's kind of just like thin plastic, but in a decent enough display, it gets the job done. And here's the standard base, as most Mezco come with the bat symbol there, and the foot peg that plugs out, and you can plug in the flight stand. And here's the other accessories. You have the big old batarang here, this big gun thing, a little drone, which I actually can't, I don't know where he goes in the box, because none of the spots seem to fit him. And then the interchangeable symbols. So we're actually gonna play with those a little bit. So here's the one that was on the figure. And we're gonna start with this one. And it's magnetic, so it just clicks on there and it's adjust. Yeah. That looks pretty rad. And then you got this big fat bat that is more classically known for associated with the Dark Knight Returns styled suits and looks. Personally, this is my favorite, although I do think that it would be really cool if it was silver like that one. Just like the whole thing silver, just like one big silver bat on his chest. I think that would be pretty rad. Kind of like the marketing for the theatrical release of Justice League, which had Batman with just the big white logo on his chest for some reason. Never understood that. And here he is in the pose that I've always had him displayed in. Just jumping out of the smoke with this big batarang. Just ready to really ruin some days. I think it's pretty rad, personally. I will get some pictures in the the end crawl of some of the different accessories and heads and symbols and stuff, but I just like this one a lot because this one's cool. But yeah, so that is the Mezco Shadows Edition Supreme Knight Batman. I love this figure. It is, again, of the, let me think, 6 Mezco Batman figures that I've owned. This one is still my favorite. So, probably, I think my next video will also be a Mezco review because I have the Zack Snyder's Justice League Mezco 3-pack with Batman, Flash, and Superman incoming. So I'm going to do an unboxing review of that. That should be next week. So stay tuned. And have a great day, guys. We'll see you in the next one.